Good afternoon, everybody. I just thought that I would, I did promise that I would discuss the different planets and do a bit of an astrological take on with these White Eagle teachings. Um, the White Eagle Lodge does have a school of astrology, and they do offer two lovely courses, the beginner's course, I presume, and the more course for those more experienced astrologers. But I did study astrology a long time ago through the lodge, and I would suggest that you contacted them direct if you're interested. You can also just leave a message for me, and I will definitely give you the lodge's details so that you can contact them direct. Well, planet of Saturn is the restrictor. It rules the base chakra, which is quite apt because it's the heaviness of Saturn that holds us down. And it's associated with the early stages of growth in terms of, when I say early stages, like when we're born and we're learning to grow and our feet learning to walk. And because Saturn actually rules the bony structure of the skin, the outer core, and the spine. The angels of Saturn actually hold each individual's karma in their care. So before you incarnate, what you want to experience, what lessons you want to learn, that's all worked with together with the angels of Saturn, the angels of karma. In astrology, Saturn rules Capricorn, and that's in the cardinal sign, but it also co-rules with Uranus, the fixed sign of Aquarius. Just interesting thought. Elephant is the animal that is associated with the root chakra, and that's also quite a aspect when you think about it. All these big elephants, bulls, strong, powerful animals are very much Saturn. They're earth-based. They do a lot of work. And you think about the horses and the camels, horses that carry us, the camels carry us across the desert. So they're very much, as I said, earth-based animals. A spiritual lesson of all earth signs is the lesson of service to mankind. So first of all, when we incarnate, we're more focused on service to ourselves. We're very materialistic, or most of us are, and we want to feel secure with our possessions and our belongings. But as our soul grows, then we want to serve through our heart center mankind. So that's what the lessons are of the earth elements. And it depends. You might only have Saturn and Earth there, and you might have other planets in water. So you don't have the full impact of a Saturn energy. I know I have Saturn in the sixth house in Virgo, and I'm very precise, especially with sums and mathematics. And if I've got a problem, I will work at it until I resolve it. I'm not a person that will just let it go. So that's where my Saturn and Mercury actually come into play in the sign of Virgo, which is Earth. So a lot depends actually on where you have Saturn in your chart. Saturn teaches us the lessons of patience, perseverance, and it can make us a little bit pessimistic. pessimistic. So, frustration in old age and accumulation of habits and thoughts like cause of build up a lifespan of hard crust around our soul, similar to Lazarus in the tomb. So that is why sometimes when we are in the process of passing over, we hang on to what is familiar to us and we don't let go. So through life, our souls we can either cling on to bad habits and become fearful, or we can work with that energy and open up our chakras and escape. Even if our spiritual body, we can escape that way instead of being held down constantly by fear and pain. And a lot of elderly people, I know I'm old too, but a lot of elderly people are so used to certain conditions, they will not change. And this is very predominant in the earth signs. They're scared of change, they fear change. And part of Saturn's lesson is for us to actually grow through the change and open up our souls to the universal light. So even if we are entombed in a body that won't work, our spiritual body can go forth and bring joy and happiness to others. So our mental body, shall I say, or even we can escape in terms of meditation and visualization. We don't have to be entombed in Saturn, that Saturn energy. Yeah, as I said, we have to release what's not working for us instead of hanging on to it in order to make a bridge between the inner and the outer worlds, not come rigid in our thinking. Saturn is also the number 8, the perfect cube, and Saturn is perfection. And Saturn, angels of Saturn, is to perfect and purify Mother Earth. So I'm just going to read quickly about Saturn from Planetary Harmonies, written by Joan Hodgson, from the astrology school. She was the founder of the astrology school. Saturn's number is 8, the number of a perfect cube, and Saturn is essentially the planet of perfection in form. His work in the universal plan is to purify and perfect form so that it becomes an ever more worthy instrument of the spirit. He often symbolized as the great reaper, old Father Time, with his hourglass and South, just as time tests the quality of material objects, the arrangements, so Saturn tests and perfects those soul qualities which will be used ultimately in the creation of the man's solar body, the temple of the sun. To work with the angel of Saturn, we should regard Saturday as a special day for dispassionate self-assessment. The Essene Brotherhood encouraged its members on one day of the week to make a survey of their actions and reactions throughout the past 7 days, noticing calmly where they have failed, where they have slothful in their habits, harsh in their judgments of others, or blind to creative opportunity. This summary of the week's activities was done not in a miserable or guilty way, but calmly and dispassionately, taking notes of the facets of the nature which required improvement. This is common practice also amongst the yogis. Having made the assessment, it is foolish to feel excessively remorseful. We are all learning lessons in Earth School, working through tests and exercises. The result of the Saturn assessment should be acceptance of a situation. Then, with prayer and patient endeavor, we set the God will within us working to perfect the deficiencies which we have noted. Jesus once summed up the whole of the law and its prophets in these words: Thou shalt love the Father thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy strength and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. So that's just a thought, just a little idea of what Saturn's all about. Have an awesome day, everybody. God bless.